Welcome back. So, this is the last 14 game review I'm going to have to do until at least October, probably November. A lot of hockey tonight. At one point, I was like, which games are going on? What's happening? Who's doing what to who now? But I stuck with it. I made sure I got all this set up, so here we are. But yeah, from here on, the nights are quieter. Things get evened out a little bit, but 14 tonight. And for those curious, there's one game tomorrow. One. So I'm taking the night off. Yeah, tomorrow night I'm going out with the wife. All right. Colorado in Ottawa against the Sens. Wedgwood versus Ullmark. Early jump for Ottawa. Sens press at 2 minutes. Giroux has a one-timer that's held. In fact, the shots are 5-0 for Ottawa, 4.5 minutes in. Really strong start by the Sens, and it felt like they were jumping on Colorado, who played last night in Ottawa or in Toronto. So made sense that Ottawa was playing well. McKinnon then has a wrister that's caught and held. The Sens press at 7 minutes. The Avs press. Lehkonen is denied. Kiviranta robbed in close. And then at 10:29, McKinnon puts one through Ullmark from the slot. Drouin and Makar with the assists. Then at 11:28, Nelson goes far side from the left circle. Malinsky and Natchez with the assists. The net feed to Pinto gets picked off. And then we get a power play goal as the Avs get a power play, and Makar scores from Drouin and Nichushkin at 14:33. And that was goals on 3 straight shots for Colorado. And then at 17:29, Kiviranta goes post and in. Colton and Coyle with the assists. That ends the night for Ullmark. Forsberg goes into the net. With 5.2 seconds left, the Avs go to the power play. So that rolls over into the second period. Score 4-0 for Colorado. And they score just before the power play comes to an end at 1:54. It is Nelson with his second goal of the game. Lehkonen and Colton with the assists. It's 5-0 Avalanche. Lehkonen has a chance. It's held. The Avs press at 7 minutes. We get a post for Zub. The Avs clear. We get 2 minutes of 4-on-4. Then with 2:25 left, the Avs get a power play. That's killed off. It's 5-0 after 2 periods of play. Third period, we get a power play for Colorado. That's killed off. Shots are 2-1 Avalanche at 4 minutes. At this point, I think we had 12 or 13 games going on, 12 games going on at the same time. We get a power play for Ottawa. That's killed off. The Sens press after it's done. Perron has a net feed. That's blocked. The Avs press with 6 minutes left. We end up with a power play for Ottawa, and they score on it at 15:59 as Cousins from Stutzla and Sanderson. That makes it a 5-1 score for the Avs. That's your final score. The Avs go to 42-25-3 with the win. With the loss, the Sens 36-27-5. They're not that far above the playoff line, so you got to be concerned a little bit. You got to hope that this is just a one-off for Ottawa. 3 stars are Nelson, Makar, and Forsberg. Shots on net, 14-8 Colorado in the first, 11-4 Colorado in the second, 7-4 Colorado in the third. They outshoot Ottawa 32-16. You would have thought Ottawa was on the second half of a back-to-back. The power plays, Colorado 2 for 4, Ottawa 1 for 2. The hits, 35-17 for Ottawa. Wedgwood saves 15 out of 16. Was not busy, but he was good. Ullmark saves 9 out of 13, and then Forsberg saves 18 out of 19 in relief. All right, next up, Calgary in New Jersey against the Devils. Wolf versus Markstrom. Pospisil can't bury one in close. Shots are 4-3 Devils at 3.5 minutes. A hit on Hanley draws a crowd. Meyer goes to the box there. There's some booing. I saw the Flames wanted a major, or at least it looked like that Ryan Huska was asking why it wasn't a major. I actually honestly thought it was kind of a clean hit. Looking at it on the replay, I'm like, the puck was right there. He hits him from the side. But at any rate, there is a power play that comes out of that, so that's killed off. The Devils then draw a power play of their own. That's killed off as well, just the one shot. The Flames press with 9 minutes left. We get power play number 2 for the Flames. That's killed off as well. The Flames press with 4.5 minutes left, but at 17:09, it is Hischier opening the scoring for New Jersey. The assist to Nason and Kovacevic. Flames look to respond. We get some pressure by Calgary in the final minute, but it's 1-0 New Jersey after 1. Second period. Early press by the Devils. Sharon Govich fans on one from the slot. You know he wants one against his former teammates. Teams trade rushes, and then at 5:25, past a screen from the slot, it's Howla from Dumoulin, making it 2-0 for the Devils. Flames press at 9 minutes. There were 9 Flames shots halfway through this game, and then they got 19 in the second half of the game. Delay a game. The Flames go to the power play, and Coronado scores one. It goes in off Mercer's stick at 11:58. Huberdeau and Frost with the assists. Then there's another delay of game call on the Devils. So Flames go to the power play on that. That one's killed off. Then we get a power play for the Devils, so that one's killed off as well. And then at 19:32, so in the final minute, New Jersey gets their 2-goal lead back. Cotter from Hischier and Dillon, 3-1 New Jersey after 2. Third period, early press by Calgary. The Flames press at 3 minutes. They really didn't want to be denied in this. At 6 minutes and 50 seconds, Zari with one that just trickles through Markstrom and in. Pospisil and Hanley with the assist. So Hanley with an assist there after taking that hit earlier in the game. Nice to see he stuck around. We get a power play for the Flames. That's killed off. Pospisil's denied from the slot. And then at 15:40, Miramanov scores to tie the game. Coleman and Farabee with the assists. And then a minute later exactly at 16:40, Huberdeau gives the Flames the lead, so New Jersey has to pull the goaltender, and Kadri hits the empty net at 19:48. It is a meltdown by the New Jersey Devils. They lose this one 5-3. This one kind of hurts, doesn't it? The Flames 32-25-11. They needed this to stay in the hunt in the West. The Devils 37-27-6 with the loss. The 3 stars are Huberdeau, Wolf, and Hischier. Shots on net. 9-5 New Jersey in the first, 16-8 New Jersey in the second, 15-4 Calgary in the third. Final shots 29-28 for the Devils. Power plays, Calgary 1 for 5, New Jersey 0 for 2. The hits 20-17 New Jersey. Wolf saves 26 out of 29. Markstrom saves 23 out of 27. All right, next up, Toronto in New York against the Rangers, and Toronto in the second half of back-to-backs. So Stolarz at one end, Shesterkin at the other. Early press by the Toronto Maple Leafs. The shots are 2 apiece, 2.5 minutes in. Near miss for Cooley and close. The Leafs press are kept to the outside. Lafreniere has a rush chance that's held. We get a power play for Toronto. That's killed off. Shots are 8 apiece with 9 minutes left, and at 12 minutes and 30 seconds, Tavares opens to scoring for Toronto. He fires it in on the rush. Nylander and McCabe with the assists. The Leafs press with 3 minutes left, but in the final minute, things go kind of crazy. At 19:12, Borgen has a point shot that deflects in to tie the game at 1. Soucy and Brodzinski with the assists. And then at 19:50, face-off win by Toronto. They cycle and they score. McMahon from McCabe and Tavares. Toronto has a 2-1 lead after 1. Second period, a minute and 22 seconds in, Panarin buries a rebound to tie the game. Trocheck and Fox with the assists. I think that was the 200th assist for Fox in his career. Was it 200, 300? Either way, I know it was a milestone assist for Fox, and I forgot to write it down because everything was crazy. At 4:16, Tavares gets the lead back for Toronto. He scores from McMahon and McCabe, makes it 3-2. Rangers press to respond. Brodzinski's denied on a turnover. Pressed by the Rangers at 8.5 minutes. The Leafs press are kept to the outside. And then at 14:26 is Matthew Knies. And I thought I was kind of amused by how many players I talked about in that 32 team video today that end up getting on the scoreboard. So Knies from Nylander at 14:26. This one passed a screen from the slot. Makes it 4-2 for the Leafs after 2. And we know those goals can be important. Third period, those insurance goals in the final minute. Third period, good Leafs back-checking early on. The Leafs press at 2.5 minutes. Shesterkin poke checks Holmberg as he'd go into the net. Shots are 3 apiece at 8 minutes. We get a power play for the Rangers. That's killed off. Panarin to Trocheck. There's a near miss at the Leafs net. With 1:06 left, the Rangers call a timeout. They'd already pulled the goaltender, and they would score. At 19:25, it's Kreider from Panarin and Trocheck, making it 4-3. However, that is as close as the Rangers get. The Leafs with a huge win. They win this one 4-3. They go to 42-24-3 with the win. With the loss, the Rangers 33-31-6. 3 stars, Tavares, McCabe, and McMahon. Shots on net, 14-11 Toronto in the first, 10-6 Rangers in the second, 9-8 Rangers in the third. Final shots, 30-28 for the Rangers. Power plays, both teams go 0 for 1 on the power play tonight. The hits, 33-27 Rangers. Stolarz saves 27 out of 30. Shesterkin saves 24 out of 28. All right, next up, Philadelphia and the Capitals. Ersson versus Lindgren. The shots are 2-0 Caps at 4 minutes. No shot attempts for Philadelphia 6 minutes in, which doesn't usually bode well for a team if 10% of the way through the game, they still haven't had a shot towards the net. Not even a shot on the net, just at the net, near the net, something. Good flow, very few whistles. Teams are trading turnovers, a lot of one and done in that first period. Flyers press at 9.5 minutes, no path to either net. The Caps press with 6 minutes left. At 14:25, Ovechkin gets goal number 888. He is 7 away from breaking the record. He buries a rebound. Protas and Van Riemsdyk with the assists, making it 1-0 for the Capitals. Shots are 6-3 Capitals with 3.5 minutes left. The Flyers press are kept to the outside. It's 1-0 after 1 for Washington. Second period at 1:56 on their first shot, Brandon Duhaime scores to make it 2-0. Roy and Beauvillier with the assists there. Shots are one apiece at 4 minutes. The Caps press at 4.5 minutes. We get a power play for Philadelphia. Then we get 15 seconds of 4-on-4. Ovechkin has a wrister that's held during the Capitals power play that's on the other side of it, but everything gets killed off there. 30 minutes into the game, there were 7 shots for the Flyers. 7. So, interesting to see just how many teams, how often this season in the NHL, with less than 10 shots halfway through a game. Then at 11:06 on a rush, Mangiapane wires one to make it 3-0. Beauvillier with the assist. So, yeah, 3-0 lead for the Capitals. Flyers go back to the power play, so the Caps kill that one off as well. Caps press with 2 minutes left. It's 3-0 Capitals after 2. Third period. Shots with 3-1 for Philly at 4 minutes. And then what is listed as an own goal happens at 5:10. Paling is credited with the goal for Philadelphia. Caps then score. Missed stoppage. Yep. Review says yes. Missed stoppage. So score stays at 3-1 rather than going to 4-1. Flyers press at 9 minutes. Konechny's denied on a net drive. The Flyers press with 4 minutes left. Eventually, they do get a goal closer. At 17:24, it's Couturier from Paling and Tippett, but that is as close as Philly would get. They lose this one 3-2. Capitals 46-15-8 with the win. The Flyers 28-34-8. Capitals, by the NHL app, have not clinched based on all the other results from tonight, but they're very, very close, obviously. 3 stars, Lindgren, Duhaime, and Beauvillier. Generally, when your team has 100 points, they make the playoffs. Shots on net, 6-5 Washington in the first, 8-7 Washington in the second, 16-2 Philadelphia in the third. Final shots are actually 28-16 for the Flyers. Talk about shots not telling you how the game went. Power plays, Philadelphia 0 for 2, Washington 0 for 1. The hits, 18-13 Philadelphia. Ersson saves 13 out of 16. Lindgren saves 27 out of 28. He had himself quite the third period. All right, Florida and Columbus. So, Bobrovsky versus Berzlikins. Panthers press at 1.5 minutes. 3.5 minutes in, Florida Panthers have the only shot on net in the game. Boquist has a fast break that's defended. We get a power play for Columbus. That's killed off. The Panthers then get some pressure after finishing the kill on that penalty. Shots are 7-5 for the Panthers with 9 minutes left. Samaskevich has a net drive that's blocked. There was only so many ways for me to write down, yeah, Florida getting more shots. Florida got more shots. Columbus didn't, but there's no score after 1. Second period, good forechecking by Columbus, and Columbus had the only shot on net 4 minutes in. It was as exciting as it sounds at that point, too. Panthers press are kept to the outside. Werenski has a wrister that's caught and held. I did get a kick out of watching the Florida feed tonight because you could tell they were really trying to make it sound like it was really exciting when there wasn't that much going on. So Columbus presses at 7 minutes. We get 2 minutes of 4-on-4. Bennett has a net drive chance that's saved. In fact, I've got an idea. I'd like to see like the Panthers announcers like doing all of the really hyped up announcing they do just for like the Zamboni going around the ice in between periods. I think that would be funny. Anyways, so good forechecking by the Panthers. Columbus then presses with 8.5 minutes left. Chinikov is blocked from the slot. 3:06 left. Florida gets a power play, and everything gets punchy on that whistle, but no extra penalties happened that changed the man advantage. So Columbus kills off that penalty. Panthers press after it's done. There's no score after 2 periods of play. And I'm not saying Florida Panthers announcers are the only ones that get hyped up. There are definitely others, but come on, you want to hear it now, don't you? Third period. Teams trade rushes. Shots are 1 apiece at 3 minutes. Columbus press are kept to the outside. Aston Reese fires one wide on a 2-on-1. Panthers have a 4-on-2 that gets broken up by Columbus. Fantilli's denied on a rush. I believe that 4-on-2 was broken up by Severson too. Fantilli's denied on a rush for Hagee's robbed on a rush as well. We then get a post for Forsling shortly thereafter. Shots are 6-4 Columbus halfway through the period. We get a power play for Columbus. That's killed off. The Panthers press with 1.5 minutes left. With 30 seconds left, Florida gets a power play, and that rolls over into the overtime where it becomes a 4-on-3 power play, and Florida scores on it. At 29 seconds, it's Barkov from Jones and Reinhart, so the final score in this one's 1-0. For Florida, they go to 42-24-3, same record as Toronto, with the overtime loss, Columbus 31-28-9. So the Tony the Tiger magnet's on the board because Bobrovsky was great, and the chess magnet right down here because 3 goals or less. 3 stars, Bobrovsky, Merzlikins, and Barkov. And that's the only one I needed tonight for 3 goals or less. I also didn't need an 80s magnet tonight. Shots on net, 13-5 Florida in the first, 12-7 Columbus in the second, 8-7 Columbus in the third. Florida had the only shot of overtime. It's all they needed. Final shots, 28-25 Florida. Power plays, Florida 1 for 2, Columbus 0 for 2. The hits, 28-27 Florida. Bobrovsky saved all 25 shots for the shutout. Merzlikins, 27 saves on 28 shots. I did mention Bobrovsky, Merzlikins, and Barkov as the 3 stars, right? It's the easiest game to name your 3 stars. It's the 2 goalies and the guy that gets the goal, and your job is done picking your 3 stars. All right, let's go to board number 2. All right, Montreal in New York against the Islanders. Montembeault versus Sorokin in this one. Fasching has a shot that gets blocked out. The teams trade turnovers. 3 minutes in, the only shot on net is for Montreal. Habs press at 3.5 minutes. Then there's an offensive zone penalty by Gallagher, and the Islanders take advantage. Duclair buries a net feed in close. Lee and Pajot with the assists at 5:37. It's 1-0 Islanders. Habs press to respond. We get a power play from Montreal. That's killed off. Things get scrummy on a hold by Sorokin. And then at 11:58, Joshua Roy gets his first goal of the season. Struble and Laine with the assists. I'm still hopeful Roy gets a full-time job with Montreal next year. The Habs then press for the lead. We get a power play from Montreal. That's killed off. The Islanders press with 1.5 minutes left. It's 1-1 after 1. Second period, early Islanders power play. That becomes a 4-on-4. Everything gets killed off there. The Habs score, but it's offside. Dvorak fires one high on a rush. The Habs press. They're kept to the outside. Shots are 8-5 Montreal at 9.5 minutes. We then get a power play for the Islanders, which usually sucks, but not tonight. At 16:40, it's Holmstrom getting the power play marker from Dobson and DeAngelo. It's 2-1 for the Islanders. Islanders press for another, and then Pelech. It looked brutal, like his shoulder was hurt. So hopefully it's not as bad as it looked for Pelech. That would be a huge blow to them if they end up losing him for any period of time. But it is 2-1 Islanders after 2. Third period, early press by Montreal, and then at 2:31, Horvat buries one on a net drive. Dobson and Sorokin with the assists. The Habs look to respond. Fasching's denied and close. We get a power play for Montreal. The Habs score. There's a goalie interference challenge. It counts. I was kind of surprised it counted. I know it was close, but Laine gets the power play marker from Suzuki at 4:32. Patrick Roy was not happy, and the referee, from what I saw, did not go over to have a chat with him. The Islanders do kill the resulting power play, though, for the failed challenge. So, no harm, no foul, I guess. Kick save on Slavkovsky. The shots are 8-4 for the Habs with 8.5 minutes left. There's a crossbar for Newhook on a rush, and then on a breakaway at 14:16, Brendan Gallagher. He ties the game at 3. So, yeah, pretty impressive right there. The Islanders press with 5 minutes left. Horvat has a wraparound that's blocked. We're going to overtime. In the overtime, the Islanders control early. Palmieri has a shot that's blocked. And then at 3:37, Horvat buries a wrister on a 2-on-1 rush. DeAngelo and Sorokin with the assists. Sorokin with 2 helpers tonight, including on the game winner. With the 4-3 overtime win, the Islanders 32-28-8. They are now the top team just below the playoff line. Montreal 33-27-8 with the overtime loss. That race in the East changes every day. 3 stars, Horvat, Sorokin, and Laine. Shots on net favored Montreal almost the entire way. 15-7 in the first, 10-7 in the second, 15-8 in the third. And then in the overtime, the Islanders outshoot Montreal 3-1, including the shot that matters. Final shots 41-25 Montreal. Power plays 1 for 5 for the Habs, 2 for 3 for the Islanders. It's because I did that video today, isn't it? There you go. You're welcome, Islander fans. Hits 21-19 for Montreal. Stupid hockey guy talking about our power plays. Just fine. Look at that. 2 for 3. Montembeault, 21 saves on 25 shots. Sorokin, 38 saves on 41 shots. And yeah, he had himself a game. All right, next up, Vancouver and St. Louis. Lankinen versus Binnington. Early press by Vancouver. Shots are 4-2 for the Blues at 2.5 minutes. Blues press at 4.5 minutes. Garland has a net feed. That's picked off. Good forechecking by the Blues. Canucks are stuck on 2 shots for a while. Blues press with 9 minutes left. We get a power play for the Canucks. Suter to Hronik. There's a near miss there. We then get 41 seconds of 4-on-4. Everything gets killed off there. Shots are 9-3 for the Blues with 3.5 minutes left. Bolduc then has a rush chance that's blocked out. We get some pushing, but we don't get scoring. 0-0 after 1. Second period, early jump for the Blues. Canucks press at 3.5 minutes. Good forechecking by the Canucks. Shots are 5-3 Vancouver at 7.5 minutes. Much better period than the first period. Boeser has a wrister that's caught and held. Blues press with 9 minutes left. Momentum's building for the Blues as well. More Blues pressure with 5.5 minutes left. And then at 15:47, Bolduc has one that deflects short side to make it 1-0. Sundqvist and Joseph with the assists. Blues press for another. The fans call one. The referee does not. It's 1-0 St. Louis after 2. Third period, there's an early press by the Canucks, and they score. Sherwood with a wrister from the top of the circle. Hronik and Marcus Pettersson with the assists at 1 minute and 11 seconds. Then there's a near miss for Myers as the Canucks are pressing for the lead. Blues then press at 3 minutes. The Canucks are pinned down. They're forced to ice it, but eventually they would score. At 6:35, Boeser with his 200th National Hockey League goal, and it goes past a screen into the net. Hoglander and Pettersson, and I'm talking about EP40 right there, making the score 2-1 for Vancouver somehow because they hadn't outplayed St. Louis. Then at 9:28, Tucker. It's a face-off win and it's in. Shen with the assist, having won the face-off, ties the game at 2. And then at 9:52 on a rush, Holloway scores from Kyrou and Tucker, making it 3-2 for the Blues. And even I, as a Canuck fan, could say, yeah, they'd outplayed Vancouver to that point in the game. Makes sense to have the lead. Well, Canucks press with 4.5 minutes left. They would call a timeout with 17.5 seconds left and the goalie on the bench. And in 1956, Boeser rifles one short side. Pettersson with a fantastic pass to him to get that in the net. Quinn Hughes with the assists. So Elias Pettersson with a couple helpers tonight. He's on a 6-game point streak. We go to overtime. Thomas Kyrou gets blocked. Shen fires one wide. The Canucks take over. Hughes has a chance that's held. Kyrou has a wraparound that almost went in. Did not. They reviewed that to make sure. So St. Louis won anyways. Broberg roofs one via a 2-on-1. Shen and Holloway with the assists at 3:42. And St. Louis wins this one 4-3 in overtime. They go to 35, 28, and 7. With the overtime loss, Vancouver gets a point. 32, 25, and 12. Shots on, or the 3 stars are Tucker, Broberg, and Boeser. Shots on net, 12-3 Vancouver in the first, 9 apiece in the second, 5 apiece in the third, 3-1 Vancouver in the St. Louis in the overtime. I've got these upside down. So it's 12-3 St. Louis in the first, 9 apiece in the second, 5 apiece in the third, 3-1 St. Louis in the overtime, including the shot that matters. Final shots, 29-18 for St. Louis. Power plays, both teams go 0 for 1. The hits, 41-29 for St. Louis. Lankinen saves 25 out of 29, which does not tell you how well he played. Binnington, 15 saves on 18 shots at the other end. All right, next up, Anaheim and Nashville. Gibson versus Annunen. Early press by the Ducks. Shots are 2-0 Preds at 3 minutes. Can I admit this one got kind of the least of my attention tonight because there was so much going on, and I know neither of these teams are making the playoffs. At any rate, we get a power play for Nashville, and they score on it. Stamkos at 7:07 from Forsberg and Marchessault. Ducks look to respond. Shots are 8-1 Nashville at the half. Things get pushy on a hold by Annunen. Suppressed by Nashville with 5.5 minutes left. McTavish has a net drive that's held. 55 seconds left. The Preds get a power play. So it's 1-0 Nashville after 1. They have a power play rolling into the second period. The Ducks finish the kill. The shots are 7-2 Nashville at 6.5 minutes. And then there's a switch. 7:29. Lacombe scores for McTavish and Leeson. There's a press by Nashville at 9 minutes. The Ducks then press with 7.5 minutes left. And eventually at 13:19, Troy Terry scores to give the Ducks the lead. Zegras and Minchukov with the assists. And then at 15:36, it's Zegras getting a goal to go with his assist. The assists on that goal to Hellison and McTavish. 2 minutes left. The Ducks get a power play. That gets killed off. We get some pushing at the horn. So we have 4-on-4 to start the third period with the Ducks ahead 3-1. Shots are 3-0 Preds at 2.5 minutes. There's a shoulder save on McCarron. Leeson can't bury one in close. We get a power play for Anaheim. That's killed off. Things get scrummy on a hold by Gibson. Got kind of testy there, that one. The goalie pull happens with 3 minutes left, and at 19:24, Killorn hits the empty net. Strome with the assist. Anaheim wins this one 4-1. They go to 30, 31, and 8 with the win. With the loss, Nashville 25, 35, and 8 on the season. 3 stars are Gibson, Zegras, and McTavish. Shots on net, 11-10 Nashville in the first, 12-8 Anaheim in the second, 15-12 Nashville in the third. Final shots, 34 apiece in this one, actually. Power plays, 0 for 2 for Anaheim, 1 for 2 for Nashville. Both teams had 17 shots. Kind of an evenly played game. Gibson, 33 saves on 34 shots. Annunen saves 30 out of 33 at the other end. All right, next up, Tampa Bay and Dallas. So it's Vasilevsky versus DeSmith. Ben has a rush chance this kick aside. He's been stuck on 399 goals for a while. Shots are 3 apiece at 4 minutes. At 4:35, Hagel scores for Tampa from Cirelli and Kucherov. The Stars would look to respond. We get a press by Dallas at 7 minutes. Points denied and close. The Bolts press with 9.5 minutes left. In fact, the shots are 10-7 Tampa with 7.5 minutes left. Tampa presses with 5 minutes left. With 2:13 left, we get 2 minutes of 4-on-4. At the horn, things get kind of scrummy and punchy between the two teams. They don't like each other very much. So we go to the second period with Tampa ahead 1-0. The Bolts press early. We get a power play for Tampa. There's a shorthanded rush chance by Johnston that gets saved. That power play is killed off. And then at 7:21, Cirelli buries a rebound on a rush to make it 2-0 Tampa Bay. Hagel and Gord with the assists. Bolts then look for another, but at 7:58, Beck scores to get Dallas on the board. Blackwell and Steele with the assists. The Stars then look to tie it, and they would end up drawing a power play. And at 13:48, Marchment scores, burying a loose puck behind Vasilevsky. The assists to Ben and Duchesne. We then get a power play for Dallas. That's killed off, but it's 2-2 after 2. Third period. The Bolts press at a minute and a half. Shots are 3-1 Tampa, 3 minutes in. Stars press at 3.5 minutes. The shots are 8-4 Tampa at 7.5 minutes. The Bolts press at 8 minutes. Hedman has a slapper. That's held with a minute and a half left. There's more pressure by Tampa. McDonough then took a puck near the ear. That looks like it sucks. I wouldn't enjoy that. Third period's done. We go to overtime. The Bolts controlled early. Kucherov has a chance that's held. There was a lot of cycling by both teams when they had the puck, and Dallas never hit the net, so I don't know that they understand how overtime's supposed to work. We go to the shootout. In the shootout, Gonsalves ends up getting the winner, and Tampa Bay steals one in Dallas. 3-2 in the shootout. They go to 40, 23, and 5. They keep pace with Florida and Toronto in that race for first in the Atlantic. Dallas with the shootout loss, 43, 21, and 4 on the season. 3 stars are Hagel, DeSmith, and Cirelli. Shots on net, 14-8 Tampa in the first, 9-8 Tampa in the second, 12-8 Tampa in the third, and 3-0 Tampa in the overtime. They outshoot Dallas 38-24. Power plays 0-for-1 for Tampa, 1-for-2 for Dallas. The hits 29-16 for Dallas. Vasilevsky saved 22 out of 24. DeSmith 36 saves on 38 shots. I think he likes it in Dallas. Just going to go out on a limb. All right, last one on this board. LA in Chicago against the Hawks. Kemper versus Knight. Early jump for the Kings. Kings press at 2.5 minutes. In fact, they lead in shots 2-0, 4.5 minutes in. And at 8:45, Trevor Moore puts one far corner past a screen. Then at 9:44, 59 seconds later, Turcotte scores. He gets one from Gavrikov and Spence. It's 2-0 for LA. Hawks look to respond. Fogle has a rush chance this glove decide. Shots are 11-3 for the Kings with 7 minutes left. The Kings press with 5.5 minutes left with 2:27 left. Chicago gets a power play. That's killed off. It's 2-0 LA after 1. Second period. We get a power play for the Kings. That leads to a shorthanded rush by Veleno. He gets denied. He's looking for his first goal as a Blackhawk. That power play ends up being killed off. If you're looking at that going, oh, right, Veleno got traded to Chicago. That's my reaction when I saw that tonight. I was like, great, yeah, Veleno's in Chicago. Shots are 3-2 for the Kings at 6.5 minutes. We then get a power play for the Hawks, and they score on it. Bedard with a wrister top shelf. Bertuzzi and Teravainen with the assists at 10 minutes and 50 seconds. Suddenly it's only 2-1 for the Kings. Power play for Chicago. That becomes 4-on-4. Everything's killed off. It's 2-1 LA after 2. Third period. 3 minutes in, the only shot on net was for Chicago. The Hawks would end up drawing a power play. The Kings kill that off. The shots are 4-2 for Chicago at 9 minutes. There's a blocker save on a net drive by Trevor Moore. Hawks press with 7.5 minutes left. Bedard has a net feed this block during the 6-on-5 with the goalie pulled, and Edmondson hits the empty net at 19:42 to secure the victory for the Kings at 3-1. They go to 37-21-9 with the win. With the loss, Chicago 20-40-9. Your 3 stars are Turcotte, Moore, and Bedard. Shots on net, 19-7 LA in the first, 8-5 LA in the second. Both teams had 6 shots in the third. Final shots 33-18 for LA. Power plays, the Kings 0-for-2. Chicago 1-for-4. The hits 22-19 Chicago. Kemper saves 17 out of 18. Spencer Knight 30 saves on 32 shots. Time for board number 3. All right, Winnipeg and Edmonton. I said this could be game of the night material. Hellebuck versus Skinner. We get a power play for the Oilers. That's killed off. I also said that about a few games for today, so you got to hedge, right? The lone shot on net was Edmonton's 5 minutes in, and they would score at 5:28. Jeff Skinner, unassisted. So a Skinner in the net and a Skinner scoring in the other net. Things are pretty good for Edmonton early. The Oilers press at 8 minutes. Shots are 4-2 Edmonton with 9 minutes left. At 13:39, Perfetti scores to tie it. Sandberg and Ehlers with the assists. We then get a power play for the Jets. That's killed off. It's 1-1 after 1. Second period early jump for the Oilers. Shots remained at a premium. Really, honestly, both teams played well defensively in this one. The Oilers score. It's challenged. It's a good goal. So at 5:30, Skinner from McDavid and Nurse. That means the Oilers go to the power play, and that's killed off. 11 seconds after that power play ends, the Jets score on a rush. Morrissey tips one in on a rush. Niederreiter and Barron with the assists at 7:41. Shots are 3 apiece at 9 minutes. The Oilers press with 8.5 minutes left. Connors denied on a rush. The Oilers press with 5.5 minutes left. They have more pressure to the Oilers with 1.5 left. With 15.8 seconds left, the Jets go to the power play. So it's 2-2 after 2. Exciting start to the third period's on the way. The problem is, if you're an Oilers fan, this is where the panic sets in, isn't it? McDavid was not on the bench to start the third, and he did not return to the game. So we'll see what McDavid's status is, but they already didn't have Draisaitl. So without McDavid and Draisaitl, that definitely limits the offense for the Oilers. So we have 1:30 of a 5-on-3 for the Jets pretty early in that period. The Oilers do kill that off. The Jets press after, though, and Brandon Tanev buries a rebound. It's his first goal in his return to the Jets. Iafallo and Fleury with the assists at 3:56. Jets press for another. This is where they announce McDavid won't return to the game. Podkolzin's denied. Puck's cleared out. The Oilers press with 8 minutes left. At 14:26, Hyman buries one in close to tie the game. Nurse and Wallman with the assists, so we have a 3-3 tie. And Skinner got shaken up too, and so Pickard goes in the net. So Stuart Skinner got hurt. McDavid, there was no Draisaitl. No reason to panic. Should I do a panic index right after this video? Maybe put a panic face right on the Oilers logo. So 2:30 left. The Jets get a power play. That leads to a shorthanded rush chance by Connor Brown. That's saved. Power play's killed off. We're going to overtime. The Oilers control early. Hyman's denied. And then at 1:13, Kyle Connor is not. He wires one far corner. Morrissey and Scheifele with the assist. The Jets win this one 4-3 in overtime. I didn't get the OT in there, but it's an overtime goal. A lot of overtime tonight. The Jets 48-18-4. So they also reached the 100-point mark tonight. With the overtime loss, the Oilers 40-24-5 on the year. Your 3 stars are Jeff Skinner, Connor, and Morrissey. Shots on net, 5-4 in favor of the Jets in the first, 9-7 Edmonton in the second, 10-7 Edmonton in the third. Both teams had one shot in the overtime. The Jets, the shot that matters. Final shots, 24-20 Edmonton. Power plays, the Jets 0-4, which is a bit of a surprise. Edmonton 0-2, and the hits 23-16. Winnipeg, Hellebuck saved 21 out of 24. Stuart Skinner had saved 13 out of 16 before he got shaken up. Pickard saved 3 out of 4 in relief. So, yeah, we'll see what the status updates look like tomorrow, won't we? All right, next up, Buffalo and Utah. So Reimer versus Vejmelka. Sabres press at 1.5. Shots are 2 apiece, 3.5 minutes in. We get a power play for Buffalo. That's killed off. Utah then gets a turn, so that's killed off as well. Shots are 8-6 Buffalo with 6.5 minutes left. And at 17:27, Logan Cooley opens the scoring. Schmaltz and Keller with the assists. Utah then looks for another. With 1:25 left, though, the Sabres get a power play, and at 19:49, it's J.J. Peterka scoring to tie the game. Zucker and Thompson with the assists, so it's 1-1 after 1. Second period, Sabres press at 3 minutes. Peterka has a net drive that's saved. In fact, the shots are 4-0 Buffalo at 5 minutes. Power play for Utah. We get 25 seconds of 4-on-4. Everything gets killed off there. And then at 11:50, Sergachev puts one from the point past the screen. McBain with the assist on that one. It's 2-1 Utah. Utah then looks for another. Shots are 8-6 in favor of the Utah Hockey Club with 6 minutes left. 1:19 left. We get 2 minutes of 4-on-4. And with 6 seconds left, it becomes a 4-on-3 for Utah. So they're ahead 2-1 after 2. They have the power play to start the third period. But at 1:32 into the third period, shorthanded, it's McLeod scoring. He roofs one on a fast break and ties the game at 2, and then Buffalo finishes the kill. McLeod then has a net drive chance that's blocked. Utah presses at 4.5 minutes. They get more pressure 7.5 minutes in. The teams trade rushes. We get a power play for Utah that lasts 14 seconds before it becomes 4-on-4. Everything's killed off there. And then at 14-13, Dylan Guenther gives them the lead, them being Utah, from Hayden and Carcone. Sabres look to respond, but at 18:50, the most Buffalo goal that ever buffaloed, they had a delayed power play. So what happens? Well, Reimer's silly. He left. He's like, well, they have the puck. It's not like they're going to put it in their own net or anything. And they did. Buffalo scored into their own net. It's credited to Kerfoot. He's the last player of Utah to touch it. I would love if this got him like some kind of bonus on his contract. It was like, well, you reached a goal bonus. You get an extra $25,000 because Buffalo scored on their own net. Most Buffalo thing ever. And then they pull the goalie again anyways because they're only down by 2 and they're only Buffalo. So Sergachev hits the empty net shorthanded at 19:41 to win this game 5-2. Utah goes to 31-27-11 with the win. Buffalo 27-34-6 with the loss. Your 3 stars are Cooley, Guenther, and Sergachev. I would have given Kerfoot a star, just as a dig. Shots on net, 12-10 Buffalo in the first, 11-8 Utah in the second, 11-7 Utah in the third. Final shots, 32-27 for Utah. Power plays, Buffalo 1 for 5. Utah 0 for 4. I mean, Buffalo did score while they had the delayed call, just on their own net. Somewhere Louis Eriksson's going, I mean, it happens. The hits, 24-18 Buffalo. Reimer saves 27 out of 30. Vejmelka saves 25 out of 27. All right, next up, Boston and Vegas. Swayman versus Hill. The lone shot on net was for Vegas at 3 minutes. The Bruins press at 5.5 minutes. We get a power play for Boston. That leads to a shorthanded chance for Saad that's held. Power plays killed off. There were 7 shots each with 9 minutes left. And then Vegas controlled most of the rest of the period. Nothing really dangerous, but Boston just didn't seem to have it. But it is scoreless after 1. Second period, shots are 3 apiece at 3 minutes. Kastelik has a net feed that misses. Beecher then has a chance that's held. Vegas presses at 7.5 minutes. Dorofeev has a one-timer, he fires high. We get a power play for Vegas, and then Dorofeev finds the net. He goes short side from the left circle. Eichel and Hanifin with the assists at 9:18. The Bruins look to respond. Vegas goes back to the power play. Hertl has a chance that's held. That power play is killed off. Shots are 8-4 Vegas with 4.5 minutes left. Saad has a net drive chance. That's held. Vegas presses with 2 minutes left. And at 19:11 on a face-off win, Dorofeev scores again. This time from Pietrangelo and Saad. It's 2-0 Vegas, and that is your score after 2 periods of play. Third period. Early press by Boston. The teams trade turnovers. Zadorov has a wrister. That's held. There's a kick save on a rush chance by Mark Stone. Shots at 3-2 Boston at 5 minutes. But then at 5:47, Brett Howden roofs one short side. The assist to Carlson and Haig. Vegas presses at 9 minutes, and eventually they do score again. At 10:21, it's Dorofeev from Saad and Hanifin. So that's the hat trick goal. The second career hat trick for Dorofeev, I do believe. Bruins press with 8 minutes left. Shots are only 5 apiece with 7 minutes left. Not a lot happening until at 14:24, Barbashev scores from Jack Eichel. So it's 5-0. The Dalek magnet was on the board. I was like, I don't think Boston's getting a goal. Then I had to take the Dalek magnet off the board because it's not an extermination. Because Morgan Geekie, who I talked about in that 32-team video today, scores from Pasternak and Yoki Haru at 17:49. Final scores 5-1 for Vegas. They go to 40-20-8 with the win. With the loss, Boston 30-31-9. They're below 500. That hasn't happened in a while. 3 stars are Dorofeev, Saad, and Barbashev. Shots on net favored Vegas the whole way. 11-7 in the first, 10-4 in the second, 11-8 in the third. I never really thought Boston was a serious threat tonight. Final shots 32-19 Vegas. Power plays Boston 0 for 1, Vegas 1 for 3. The hits 29-16 Boston. Swayman 27 saves on 32 shots. Hill saved 18 out of 19. All right. Next up, last game of the night, Carolina in San Jose. So Anderson versus Romanov in this one. Toffoli has a shot that's kicked aside. The Canes press at 3 minutes. Shots are 2-1 Carolina at 6.5 minutes. We get a power play for Carolina, and then San Jose scores on it. Eklund with, well, it's a Sharks goal. He basically trips as he goes to get the puck into that. Well, he's tripped as he's going on a net drive. So the goal counts. He just crashes himself into the net, brings the puck with him. It counts. It's Eklund from Delandry at 13 minutes. The Sharks then finish the kill. With 1:11 left, the Sharks get a power play. So somehow San Jose's up 1-0 after 1, and they've got a power play to start the second. Canes do finish the kill. Shots at 3 apiece at 4 minutes. The Sharks press at 4.5 minutes. Not a lot happening, though. The shots are only 4 apiece, 9 minutes into the period. Smith's denied as the Sharks get some pressure, and then at 10:31 on a turnover, it does not take much. Seth Jarvis wires one. It's a 1-1 tie. Canes then press for the lead. Blake scores, but he's offside. So the Canes had the lead, and then it's taken away from them on review. Sharks press with 4.5 minutes left. The Canes would press to close it out. It's 1-1 after 2. And all I could think was, it's the 7:30 start. It's going to overtime in a shootout, isn't it? Third period. Early press by the Sharks. Kokaniemi fires one high from the slot. And then at 4:58, Aho buries a one-timer to give the Canes a 2-1 lead. Blake and Burns with the assists. The shots are 4-2 Carolina at 7.5 minutes. Power play for Carolina. That's killed off. The Sharks then get a power play. That's killed off as well. At 14:18, Sean Walker. It's a point shot pass to screen. He scores that one from Hall and Gostisbehere. So that's a 3-1 lead for Carolina. Canes press with 4.5 minutes left, but with 3:26 left, the Sharks get a power play, so you pull the goalie to make it 6-on-4. The Canes do kill that off, and then with 22.9 seconds left, Carolina gets a power play to end the game on said power play. Carolina wins 3-1. They go to 42-22-4 with the win. With the loss, San Jose 18-42-9 on the season. Your 3 stars are Aho, Eklund, and Jarvis. Shots on net, 12-9 Carolina in the first, 10-6 Carolina in the second, 10-7 San Jose in the third. Final shots, 29-25 Carolina. Power plays 0-for-3 for both teams. The hits, 27-7 for San Jose. Anderson, 24 saves on 25 shots. Romanov, 26 saves on 29 shots in his first career start. I thought Georgie played pretty well. The goals that Carolina got on him, this one's passed to screen. This is a one-timer from Aho, and this one's by Jarvis, who's been pretty darn good since January 1st, as I mentioned in that video earlier today. So there you go. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. As always, hit like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. And so ends the last 40-plus minute review that I'm going to do for at least 6 months. Unless there's like some backcrap crazy playoff game at some point in the near future. But thank you guys so much for all your support as always. Hit like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. I will talk to you again soon.